everybody. Welcome to the Hollywood Dream Podcast, the podcast where we talk to film and TV professionals, the people that are making movies in New York City and all around the world. And today I'm here with Ana Moioli.
Yes, Moioli. Great.
Ana is an actor, she's a producer, she is the co founding and artistic director of the Italia Theater Company here in New York City. A theater company that was created by international women, Ana being one of them. We met at a film festival last year.
Yes.
She had a short film that won Best Outstanding Drama, which she co-produced
And
co-directed.
Yes.
And then she joined us as part of the screening committee.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
That was fun. I got to watch so many different movies. Yeah, it was really nice.
How did it feel being on the other side of things?
I learned so much.
Yeah.
I really learned because I feel like there's so much freedom for short films. There's so many different possibilities of structure and stuff. And sometimes because we in our lives we get to watch a lot more features than we watch short films unless we're going to film festivals.
Yeah.
Just because, when we go to the movies, it's rare for there to be screenings of short films. So I feel like I just I got exposed to so many different possibilities. And I've also been attending so many film festivals. So I'm now I feel like I go to one and I recognize so many of the short films because it's a small world.
It is. And it's so interesting to see what people can do with the amount of money that they have, whatever resources, how good something can come up and how not so good.
Exactly. And having the experience of being an independent filmmaker, I really understand what is a good use of a budget and what is a use that could have been better. When you have a lot of money and you do something that you could have done with smaller amount of money.
Exactly.
And
you were there this year too. You had another short film which you produced.
Well, you mean out of Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Well, I actually I'm friends with with Ryan. Ryan Cairns co-directed with me Till Morning, which is the film that I had in the festival last year, and then this year I was not actually officially involved, even though I was very much part of the process.
Yeah.
But they had a short film directed by Ryan and written and performed by Cornelius Boder, who is a great friend of mine. They had a film called Fog Around August.
Oh, okay.
And so
yes,
I was there.
Saw that one.
Yeah.
You watched it too.
I did watch it too. Yes, highly recommend it.
Are you working on anything now? I remember when we first met at the party, you mentioned that you were working on an LGBTQ story.
Was it Till Morning maybe? Because Till Morning is LGBTQ. I'm not sure if which one you were referring to.
I don't know.
I do have a short film that I co-directed again with Ryan. He is my official co-director.
You're right
which is hard to co-direct, but you have to find the good people. Anyway, but we co-directed another one called it's called Robert.
Robert?
Like no. It's called Robert. That is.
That's the name.
Yeah, I know it's confusing.
What is it about?
Well, that movie is more of an experience more than a story,
And this is a short film?
It is a short film. So that is the proof that you can do so much. There's so much freedom in what you can do with a short film. It's a very David Lynchian movie, I will say. That's the best it can give you. So it's about this character named Nellie Robert. Guess who performed in it? Cornelius Boder.
Oh, okay.
And we call him Nellie. But and he goes on very internal adventure, and he is performing with a cat. We have a cat in the film. And
how is it working with a cat?
It's a very sweet cat. Her name is Suka. She plays the role of old lady. We have to give ourselves time and shoot a lot so that we can go to the editing room and pick and choose what
Yeah.
worked, because most of it didn't. But we were fortunate enough to get some really good moments that we were able to use. She was a star. Like,
Was she like an acting cat, or is just
no,
somebody's
she's
cat?
Ryan's cat. Yeah. She's Ryan's cat. Yeah.
I remember a while ago, a long time ago, I had a web series, and
Mhm.
one of the episodes included a cat. The
Mhm.
guy was like walking a cat, and
Mhm.
I posted an ad on Craigslist, and this girl was like, "Oh, my cat is an outdoor cat," so I give her $100 to come, and this cat wouldn't move.
Oh my God.
He was not a good cat.
There are good cats and not as good cats.
I know.
Suka is the good one.
You are pretty big in collaborations. You collaborated with your director, Italia.
Yes,
What do you think
exactly.
is the secret to a successful collaborating partner? Because I've had bad experiences.
Yeah, well, I've also had bad experiences,
Yeah.
but I am very fortunate that I have a very good community of artists, both for film and for theater. Yeah, I really work with my best friends. We have this family of friends that we're also collaborators. And I think with my theater company, we've learned so much about collaborating. And I think the fact that we're all international women really bonded us. And there are just many different layers of how much we relate to each other. And we share the same ambitions, the same goals, and we have a lot of discipline and a lot of passion, but we also create a very caring environment. Every meeting that we have, we start with personal check-ins. So we start like sharing a little bit of our week in like our personal lives, and sometimes that goes like over an hour. We try to avoid that because our meetings can last for 3 hours or longer.
Really?
But so sometimes we're like, only 15 minutes of check-ins.
Yeah.
But anyway, like we have this relationship of both professional and personal connection, which sometimes we need to find a balance. Sometimes we are working when we're hanging out, and we're hanging out when we're working, and we always need to be like reminding ourselves what we're here for. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really because we have such a strong personal connection. I think we have an artistic connection as well, and then it's a matter of matching how we work, right? But yes, I co-directed with Ryan twice, which is yeah, I feel like many directors are not interested in co-directing, but we learned so much from each other, and I think we come from different backgrounds, so we definitely complemented each other in different ways. So Ryan took care of, he was more responsible for some aspects, and I was more responsible for other aspects, but we were always in conversation. And I think we have a match, an artistic match, and I think we listen to each other very well. And I think we're not too proud and not too precious, because I think that's the problem. When there is a disagreement, you really have to compromise. And yeah, being comfortable with compromising, I think it's essential. Yeah.
How did the Italia theater company come to be?
Well, we co-founded it in 2019. It was me, Maria Mueller, and Georgia Valenti. Maria is from Romania, George is from Italy. We all met at NYU. We were all studying acting there. And it was Maria's original idea. She had just graduated and she wanted to put up a play. And we had already worked, she and I had already worked in a school production together. And she was good friends with Georgia. I was also very good friends with Georgia. And we decided to put up a play together. We didn't know what it was, but we were like, we should be making our own work.
Yeah.
We cannot be just waiting for opportunities to arise. And we really connected with each other. We were great friends. So I was actually already producing a play that I wrote. It was called For the Time Being. And so I was already in the experience of producing my own work. And then we were trying to choose a play that we wanted to produce together. And we realized, why don't we go even further? We could just make this a regular thing, and we can all dedicate ourselves to making it a part of our lives and keep going. We did not know anything about running a theater company back then, but what we needed.
How does that, like, what is the process to starting a theater company?
Well, I mean, there's the legal process, which is not as complicated, like you just get an accountant, you might need a lawyer, but we just had an accountant and we opened it legally. And then we just figured it out as it went. We had to like do so much research, but we were all so committed to it, and that we slowly started figuring things out, and we grew with time. We started with the show, and then we created a website. We produced the show, which is a lot of work in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the company, we started building our name. We started marketing ourselves as a company, and then we started fundraising. We did a big fundraiser to start it, and then with time we learned about applying for grants. And
do you guys have a space where you
we've been performing in different venues for each project? So we fundraised for projects, and we either get an opportunity with a venue, or we get a deal with a venue, or we rent with grant money or donations. And
And how do you guys just do work that you create, or do you outsource and like
we have different systems. We've done 2 devised shows that we created together. Original work that we collectively devised in the rehearsal room. The first one was This Is Me Eating, and the last one was Stella Come Home, which we did last year. But the first play that we ever did was Running in Place, which was a straight play by a playwright from India. And it was a new play. It had been produced in India, but not in the US. And then we did On How to Be a Monster, which was written by Maria in our company. So we've done new plays, but they're straight plays. And then we recently, earlier this year, we did a lab, the first Italia lab, which was for playwrights. So we opened for submissions, and we chose 3 plays that went through whose playwrights went through a program of developing, like workshopping the play. And we had like workshop leaders, and they did rewrites, and we had actors to help them to act out the scenes and stuff. And then we selected one play, which is Until Dark by Federica Borlenghi, who's also a great friend and collaborator of ours. And we are going to produce it. So that's our next project. So Federica is external, even though she is a great collaborator of ours that we've worked with in the past.
And aside from like the paperwork stuff and the legal stuff, what has been the most challenging for you guys, or just maybe for you as an artist, an artistic director?
Well, there's so many, so many. Like it's really, well, I think fundraising is a constant work. We're always looking for opportunities to raise funds for our project, and marketing is also a consistent task that we have to keep pushing and like getting audience. But yeah, we've grown a lot. It's just like it's just consistent. We always have to be working on those
Yeah.
things. And yeah, like expanding our audience and raising money so that we can pay people as much as we can and make this a consistent like thing that we can just keep going, keep growing. Yeah, I mean, making theater, independent theater, is just as hard as making independent film.
Especially like in New York, because spaces here are so expensive.
For sure, for sure.
When I first was working on the festival that I was telling you that I was going to do, I was looking into space, and I found this one theater at 110th Street, and it was like $5,000, and that was the cheapest one. And then the pandemic happened, and all my dreams came crashing down. But
yeah,
space here is so expensive.
It is really expensive, and for theater you also have to rehearse, right?
Yeah.
So like rehearsal space is also expensive. Yeah, it's hard.
You know, you're uptown.
I'm actually in Brooklyn. I'm in
Okay.
Bushwick. Yeah, I was working uptown. I was telling you.
Okay,
recording,
okay.
but yeah, I live in Brooklyn.
There's a new space uptown that's like super cheap for rehearsal.
Oh, really?
I can give you. I mean, I don't know if you want to go uptown to rehearse, but it's like $10 an hour.
Wherever is affordable.
Yeah, I'll give you the info after.
Thank you. No, yeah, I mean, we do have some. We also know about some deals, but they're always helpful because it sucks to use like most of the budget for renting space. You know, we want to be paying the people instead.
Exactly. Looking ahead, like, what is your goal for the theater company?
Our goal for the theater company, well, I will say they're like the main things that we are. Well, I think it's to be able to be less worried about the administrative parts, make it more of a thing that works by itself, and be more focused on the artistic side, because that's the thing, we wear so many hats, and it's a struggle to be so worried about the production and the administrative side and still be the actress and the sometimes director and anyway the artistic leader of projects. So ideally we would have a system that with like external people who could take over some of the tasks that we give ourselves, and we could be focused more on the artistic side. Yeah.
And do you also perform as part of the theater company?
Yes.
Okay, so you do a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
What has been some of the memorable moments for the company?
Oh, so many. I feel like every project we make is like, there's not been a single project that we were not very proud of.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, like, even though it is a struggle, I think there's no other way I want to live my life than making art with my close people, making art with the people that I love, because we really share our trajectories in the world. We share so many experiences, and we are reflecting on our experiences together. And then as we are together, we're like, let's make a project out of this, you know? And I think that's the most beautiful way of living life. And it's just so, I feel like really art that comes from love, art that comes from people who feel comfortable with each other and can be vulnerable together. That is what I believe in. Yeah, I feel like especially the projects that we devised together, they're the ones that end up becoming biggest in my heart, just because it's our baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited about producing Federica's play now. It's such a wonderful play. And every other project that we did, I also just did another show that I started as kind of external from my company, but I turned it into officially part of my company later in the process. It was called Saudades, directed by my best friend Marina Zurita, and it's a Brazilian Portuguese word. I mean, it's actually a Portuguese word. It's just a Brazilian themed play, but Portuguese anyway. That is untranslatable.
Okay.
And it means the love that remains after someone or something is gone.
Aw.
And it's
And
like
is
a
this a
nostalgia.
full play or short
It's a
play?
full-length play, a new play by Fernando Segal, who is also a friend of mine, a Brazilian playwright, and I produced it, but I was also the lead actress. And this show, we had several different iterations for it. We started with a stage reading at the Brazilian Consulate, which was great. They supported our project.
I saw pictures of that on Instagram.
Uh-huh. And then we were part of a work in progress festival called Rough Draft Festival. And then we did it at Columbia University because Fernando is getting his master's there. So it was his thesis project. And then we brought it to Jack, the theater in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
It was like a great process. We got support from many different organizations and grants, and we had a great team. So it was very rewarding. It was also hard to be both an actress and a producer in it. And ideally, as I said, I will just be involved in the artistic side, but
I know producing is a lot of work.
it is, but it's like I mean, I have a love and hate relationship with producing, I guess, because it's like I don't think I'm ever gonna stop producing because I want to make things happen.
Yeah.
You know, like as I said, I want to live my life looking for experiences and thoughts and feelings and moments that I want to turn into a project. And who's gonna turn it into a project if not myself?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's the mindset I want to keep. But hopefully we can get as much help as possible so that it's like a sustainable process.
Yeah. So if anyone out there has money, send it to Italia Theater
Oh,
Company.
please. Oh, please. Oh, yes. I'll put all of the links for you to send us.
So what does Italia mean?
It means "and other"
Okay.
in Latin.
Oh.
Because we are the other, you know, the
Mhm.
international women from different countries, but that's what we're always trying to use, if not directly our cultures, our cultural references, or our experiences as immigrants. We're always trying to bring that as a lenses to talk about the things that our projects talk about.
Yeah.
Like, for example, our next show, Until Dark, is not about being an immigrant at all. Actually, all of the characters are American in the script, but we still really believe that we are the right people to make this project
Mhm.
because it talks about such a delicate womanhood themes and issues, dilemmas, and I think the fact that we come from different backgrounds, but we connect so much. We can we just have a more varied perspective on struggles that are universal, you know.
Mhm.
So we think that is our diverse backgrounds is our power, and that's like what we want to use in our projects.
And you're from Brazil.
I am from Brazil. Yes.
I read that you've been performing since you were 9 up there.
Yes.
How was life growing up in Brazil as an artistic child, and how is the artistic life of Brazil, like the scene?
Well, I went to theater school like outside of my school. Even though I did go to pretty artistic schools, but I went to this theater school when I was 9, and I kept going until I was old enough to start studying it professionally, and then I did their conservatory, their acting conservatory, and then I got a certificate. And yeah, well, it's not it's much harder than here, even though it's also hard here.
Yeah. How is it much harder over there?
Well, it's just that there is less money,
Okay.
there are fewer opportunities, and it's just there are fewer schools that give you the education that you need, and it's just culturally is just not as valued. I mean, it's not valued here either, like the arts, theater, and film, but there it's even less. I will say there's incredible Brazilian art and Brazilian artists. So
I went to Brazil for
you did?
Carnival. Yeah.
For Carnival,
I know.
amazing. This year?
Yeah.
Oh,
this
where?
year. Rio.
Oh, great.
It was fun. I learned that Carnival is not just like a party thing. It's a competition from
Oh, yeah,
samba
the parade.
schools. Yeah, I went to the
Yes.
parade.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was fun.
That's amazing. No, there's like, yeah, Carnival is a lot of things.
Yeah, how is Carnival? You're from
São Paulo.
Okay, how is it? I went to Rio, so is it the same thing?
It's the whole country. Yeah. There's also a big parade in São Paulo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it the same thing where like it's samba schools in
Mhm.
competition?
Yes. It's pretty similar. They happen like simultaneously. And I remember I would watch it mostly on TV, but we kept like switching the channels to see the São Paulo and the Rio one. Yes, there's that, and then there's like a whole month, actually more than 1 month of parties. But there are obviously the main dates, which is like from like Wednesday through Sunday, or the opposite, from like Saturday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
But that's like the main moment of Carnival, but it's really a whole month of partying.
Yeah. Were you ever like as a child, were you ever part of any of the parades?
I was not. I was not, unfortunately. I would travel. I would always dress up, but yeah, I would always travel to visit my grandparents as a child because they didn't live in São Paulo, and then it was like a family gathering. But yeah, honestly, because I moved to the US like when I was just becoming an adult, and then I went to college here, and I was in school while Carnival was happening, so I couldn't go to Carnival. And then I graduated, and there was the pandemic, so I couldn't go to Brazil. And then now I work, so it's also hard. I feel like I really need to go to Brazil for Carnival very soon, because
it's expensive to go to Brazil.
I know, it's super expensive.
My God.
And like I have to go. I usually go for Christmas when I can. Sometimes I don't even do that. But but I really want. I feel like the next time I go, I was highly considering going next Carnival, because I feel like I really need to live that as an adult.
Yeah.
Which I haven't done yet.
Oh, you have to. It was so much fun to be in the parade, like in the stadium. And after you learn like what it is, we sat with a bunch of locals, and when their school came on, they were all excited. And one of the floats got stuck, and they were also stressed. So it was just funny to be there, seeing them stressed out.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's a lot.
Did you ever when I was little in DR, they used to play Brazilian novelas, but I was not allowed to watch them because they were really crazy.
Yeah,
I remember the commercial. It was like some naked lady swimming in a pool, and my grandfather would not allow us to watch this.
Interesting.
Did you ever have any aspirations to be in novelas in Brazil?
I guess when I was a kid, I had a phase that I wanted to, but it was never really my dream. But I feel like if the opportunity arises, I'll do it. it's not something I'm actively pursuing, but to be honest, like if you want to be an actor in Brazil, that's pretty much the
How
only
you
way
get
you
in?
can actually make it, which is sad.
Yeah.
Like you can start in the telenovelas and then make a name for yourself, and then go to like you can then later be more in film and theater, but to really make a sustainable life for yourself without being in the big telenovelas, that's really hard. But yeah, I decided that I wanted to be an actor coming mostly from American and international cultural influences, like watching mostly American TV and film, because I didn't get access to enough access to the best of Brazilian film and theater as a kid. I think, I mean, not even because of my parents. My parents were always so good at giving me good references, but
Yeah.
well, I loved Hannah Montana. What can I do? And so literally, like, I did not dream of being in telenovelas as much as I dreamed of being in Disney Channel.
Really?
So, no, yeah. I mean, no wonder why I'm here now.
Yeah.
But it's in the past. Okay, I don't no longer want to be in Disney Channel. Yeah,
We don't talk about that phase.
no, that's little Anna phase.
And what is your personal aspiration for the future? Not the theater company. Like, what is your goal in the industry?
My goal in the industry. Well, I want to be performing as much as I can, and keep growing as an actor, and develop myself more as a director as well. I have a lot more experience as an actor than as a director. Actually, it's a recent thing that I realized how much I want to direct as well. But that's also something that I'm not really rushing for, because I feel like I will naturally start directing more as I get more experience, like life experience and professional experience. Um, but yeah, I really want to be performing more in projects that I enjoy, and if I have to produce them, I will. But
But
hopefully
you don't want to produce.
if I cannot, I won't.
Is acting your like number one?
It's what I studied. It's what my first dream was, and I just love it. I love acting so much. But directing is definitely, as I said, something that is a long-term goal to make it bigger in my life. But yeah, I feel like I want to really focus on acting first, and then later in my life, I'm sure that I will be directing more.
Is there any advice that you would give international artists who would like to come to the States and pursue a career in the arts, whether it be theater, film, TV, whatever it might be?
Yeah, well, it's I will say life is not Hannah Montana. So that's the first one. Life is here is also a struggle, even though there are so many opportunities here. It is great. Like, I really love my life here. But well, there are so many struggles in terms of leaving home, and immigration is a really big thing. If like get visas and stuff, if you don't have that, so I think really do the research and be prepared for what's coming and make sure that you're up for it. But I feel like in general, leaving your country gives you so much experience, personal experience, that will benefit your art so much, that just the experience of, even if it's not forever, going for it, I think, even if you end up not liking or suffering, or even if you want to go back, it's still worth it, because every life experience really is gonna enrich what you have to tell the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, as long as you're not idealizing what's coming and you're coming for the right reasons, then it's great. And I mean, I love New York. Like, I think living here is I'm learning so much every day, because it's really, I feel like I'd said this recently, I feel like living in New York is traveling through humanity.
Yeah.
Because there are all kinds of people here.
I know.
From all kinds of places, and with the most crazy stories. So if you're here and you're like excited to meet those people, meet the people, and listen to crazy stories, and experience crazy stories, because there's just so much happening.
And create your own crazy stories.
Exactly. Yeah. Then come here.
Yeah.
Then this is the place for you, and it is definitely the place for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. Don't ask me what I'm going to do in 10 years. There's so many things. I don't know. I can tell you like general things that I want to happen, but I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to have kids. I don't know if I'm going to be married. I have no idea. But
one day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time, because there's just it's just hard to plan in this condition of being an immigrant and being an artist, like freelancing with projects and stuff. It's hard.
Did you move to New York when you moved?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I went to NYU. I moved because of NYU. So I've been here. Yeah. How
was NYU?
It was great. Yeah, I learned a lot. It's very much in New York, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a separate campus. So it was very global.
Do they have dorms?
They do. I lived in a dorm for my first year, but then I got out of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like huge. So also very I mean, there were struggles. It's also hard to separate my experience in NYU from my experience of just moving countries, because I moved countries to go to NYU. So I feel like some of the things that I was struggling in terms of cultural shock, I end up associating with my time in NYU, but it's not because of NYU. I definitely have issues with NYU. I'm not just going to say that I love it. I think there are several very important problems with it. But I think overall, I'm very thankful for everything, because I would not be doing what I do now if it wasn't for it. And with the people that I collaborate with now, if it wasn't for them. And anyway, the artist that I am right now, I've definitely developed from the teachers and the experiences and the opportunities that I had in school.
Okay. All right. So I have a segment called Fast and Curious.
This is where
you have 2 minutes, okay? And you're going to answer as many questions as you can. The questions are all about you, so if you don't know one, just say pass.
Okay, can I say pass?
You can say pass if you don't know. Okay, wait,
I will say I'm a very indecisive person. I might regret every answer that I give you like immediately after, but I'm still gonna try not to pass.
Okay. The number to beat is 20. And you have 2 minutes, okay? I'm gonna start the clock. The model of your first phone.
Oh, it was like it was a Nokia, and I don't know the name, but I would open it, and there was like barely a screen in
Okay.
it. There was, but
3 words your friends will use to describe you.
um, sociable, blah, 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 determined, and and indecisive.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my God, so many. High School Musical. It would be Breaking Free.
Okay. Who is your current celebrity crush?
My current celebrity crush. Oh my God. Oh, his name is Nombe.
Okay.
He's like a singer. He's really hot.
Is he Brazilian?
No,
Okay.
he's American.
What is your favorite emoji?
This one, you know, the one with the monkey.
Do you work with background noise or do you work in silence?
Preferably silence.
Worst audition you've ever had?
Okay, you know, the first audition I ever did here in the US, I had no idea what it was. It was actually, okay, there's so many that I can tell you, but I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know what like a headshot was.
Really?
I mean, I didn't know what a headshot was. I didn't know I had to bring one to the audition. I was like, no matter what, it's gonna be fine. I didn't know I didn't know how to slate. I didn't know anything. It was like for a feature film. I couldn't even work back then legally, but I was like, I'm gonna go for the experience. And yeah,
A favorite TV show?
still is Game of Thrones.
Me too.
Really great.
I love it. Okay, let's see.
Seriously?
That was
I guess
fast.
I guess I answered maybe 3 questions.
No, you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You did 8.
Okay, not too bad.
You didn't beat 20, but 8 was
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. At least I didn't pass any of them.
Anna, tell me your top 5 movies and why you
Top
love them so much.
5. Wow. If I wasn't decisive with the previous question. Okay. Well, let me start with there is a movie called Capernaum. It's a Lebanese movie. I
Okay.
don't know if I pronounced the name right. It's by Ladine Labaki. It's a movie that my friends and I really, really loved. We used to have a cine club together that we would watch movies every week, and we watched that one, and we were all like, "Wow, it's so powerful." It's about this kid who wants to sue his parents for having him. It's
What?
insane.
Oh my God, there's some girl on Instagram did the
Really?
same thing. No, on
Really?
Instagram, on TikTok.
Yeah.
She sued her parents because they should have consulted a medium to connect to her and ask her if she wanted to come to her.
Well,
Anyways, she didn't win, but it actually happened in real life.
There you go. Wow. Maybe the girl watched the movie and got inspired. But let me say a Brazilian movie. Definitely Kleber Mendonça Filho's films, Aquarius and Bacurau. They're both incredible. He has other movies, but these are the main ones, the most famous ones. They're very different, but they're like, if you're gonna watch Brazilian movies, I recommend those.
What is it?
Aquarius,
Okay.
and Bacurau. Bacurau.
Okay.
Like that one is like science fiction, but takes place in a fictional small town in the northeast of Brazil.
Okay.
And the other one is about this old lady who is losing her apartment, and anyway, it's like a family drama, but it's so good. And then there's one called Martium by Gabriel Martins. That is more recent. I watched it when I was in Brazil earlier this year. It's so good.
What is it about?
It's about this Afro-Brazilian family, and like each of them has a different storyline, but there's this boy specifically that is dreams of going to Mars. Martiu means Mars One. That's the name in English, actually. If you want to look for it, probably look for Mars One, because he saw that there's going to be this program of sending people from Earth to Mars, and that becomes his dream. But he's like, he comes from such a poor background, and his like family goes through so many struggles that are like all so heartbreaking, but that's his dream. He wants to go to Mars, and he still believes in his dream, and then people believe in his dream as well, and then they're like working for it. It's
Did he make it to Mars?
You should watch the movie. Well, but I think like the main point is like the dream, more than like the actual thing of going to Mars. It's let me think. That was, how many did I say?
That was
4?
No, that was 3.
That was 3? No, I guess I said 2 by Kleber Mendonça Filho, and then I said Capernaum, so I have one more to go.
Are there any American movies
Yeah, that's a great question. Oh, definitely. There should be American movies
that I could find on Netflix?
Right? Let's... God. Can I say a show? Or does it have to be a movie?
No, a movie.
Okay.
We'll go on this show. We'll name the 5 shows then.
Okay. Sorry to Bother You. It's a movie that I watched also at Cine Club. It was so good. Have you seen it?
No. Who's in that?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I
feel like maybe I have. What is it?
It's like a crazy movie.
Oh, I did see it with that guy that he snorts cocaine and turns into a horse.
Yes.
Oh my God, that movie was so crazy.
I know, it's so crazy. I just love crazy movies.
That was insane. That was a good movie.
It really pushed the limits of like how crazy it can
Yeah.
be. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
How about your 5 shows?
My
Top 5.
5 shows. Okay, well, I already said Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
I
I love Game of Thrones. It took me a while to get into it, but then I was like hooked.
I loved White Lotus so much.
Never seen it.
You really should. It's like the one that I
know people tell me to watch it, but just doesn't catch my eye.
Well, I hesitated as well. My parents were telling me to watch like the whole time, and then I did, and I was like, I got COVID like a couple months ago, and then that was my COVID activity. And it was great. And what else? I love Succession.
Never seen it either. People keep telling me to watch both of their shows.
I know.
So it's like,
I don't. They're like the.
I don't want
trendy
to commit
ones.
to it. I know.
I know. And what else?
Do you watch House of the Dragon?
I started it. I did not watch the whole thing. I really need to watch it. I know. Is it as good?
Yes, that's good.
I know. I really need to watch it. It's just like I had a whole phase that I had no time at all to watch TV shows. I recently got back into it, but I definitely need to watch that. I will forever say Friends as well. I just love it. It's like my go-to. Do I have?
It wasn't one of my favorites.
No. Have you ever watched from the beginning though?
Yeah, I used to watch it, but I just never really thought it was that great.
Well, it's okay.
It's not a bad show. It's just
yeah,
not that good for me.
it's okay. It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you.
And it's like, just so easy to watch it before going to bed. So you can just get really attached.
Yeah. What, do you have one more?
One more. Breaking Bad.
Oh, I love Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss it. I want to rewatch it because it's
for Halloween. One time I was, the cleaning company that they had.
Yes.
I got this suit on on Amazon.
Really?
And that was my costume. And I
Uh-huh.
went and got like this candy that looked like the meth.
Uh-huh.
So I was walking around with blue candy.
Oh my God.
It was great.
That's a great costume, yeah. Mhm.
I know. I don't know what happened to that costume. Anyways, who are your top 5 actors?
Top 5 actors from all over the world. Oh my God. Okay. Let me start with Sonia Braga, Brazilian actress who is also has an international career. So she's always been a great inspiration. She was in both of Kleber Mendonça Filho's films that I mentioned. Let's see. Olivia Colman, I really like.
Oh yeah, she's good.
Yeah. Florence Pugh is a good young inspiration.
She is the voice. I was watching Puss in Boots, the third one, and she plays the girl with the bear family. Curly Sue. I don't know her name, but she was so good. I'm just like, who is this voice?
Yeah.
Not Robin Hood. Yeah, Red Riding Hood. And she was so good. Like her voice, I'm like, this cartoon is talented.
Yeah,
but it was her.
She has a good range. You know? Like she can play different things. So yeah. Okay. How many have I said? 3?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
I have 2 more to go. Okay. Look, I'm like, I obviously know my actors, but then like when you ask me, I just get so nervous. This is just my personality.
I know. I just like it goes out.
I'm just definitely gonna regret. I'm gonna remember someone and I'm gonna regret it.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me when I took Improv 101.
Yeah.
I was so bad. Like they'll put me in some sort of situation and I'll be like, and then 3 days later I'll think of something that I could have said.
Exactly. That's
like, oh, I hate this.
I know that I'm gonna finish the 5th one and I'm gonna remember a 6th one and a 7th one.
Who's a good actor that I like? I don't know. I used to like Angelina Jolie, but I fell out of love.
Yeah, I wouldn't name her as my top 5.
Okay, so my final question: if you could go back in time and talk to 9-year-old Ana in Brazil, what advice would you give her?
What advice I would give her? Yeah, I feel like I did follow my advice, the advice that I would give her, but it's trust that impulse, like trust that seed. I feel like there's so much insecurity in wanting to be an artist and an actress, and as a kid, like I already had that. I always knew that I wanted to be an artist. But I did follow it. So it's good. I did follow my
Just trust
advice.
your instinct.
I did. Yeah, I think like definitely my family support was super important. And some of my teachers who believed in me very early on. I feel like honestly, I want to give my freshman year self more advice than I want to give my 9-year-old self.
What would you tell your freshman year self then?
Like that it is okay to feel out of place, and that's when I needed to trust myself more.
Yeah.
Because that was like I was going through the cultural shock, and really it was only after I graduated that I really came to terms with my artistry, I think, because I was, and it came from my experience of school. But while I was in school, it was a mixture of finding myself in the country and discovering my artistry, and dealing with like language barriers and artistic barriers with my teachers as well, and like receiving feedback from them. And I had moments of not trusting myself then, like, I guess believing that it's possible to create your own route,
Yeah.
even if it's not the route that people are telling you to follow or that you expected yourself to follow. But I feel like as long as I'm honest with myself in the present moment and I am following my impulses, I will find a way. Yeah, it will just come together. Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Anna. Thank you for being here and not canceling.
Oh, yes. You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I love this. It's so nice.
And then where can people find you and find your theater company? Can people submit if you were like, if they have a young or old playwright wants to submit a play?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna open for submissions again for the next year's lab. Currently, we're not open for submissions, but if you have something you want to share with us, we'll definitely keep it for the future.
And where do they do that?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at Italia Theater or our website www.italiatheater.com. Italia is spelled E-T space A-L-I-A. And my personal Instagram at Ana Moioli, or my website anamoioli.com. Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
And you can just follow us at the Hollywood Dream Pod on Instagram.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.